Many of us wonder where our money goes, and we want to keep some of it, and tonight Steve Schwing will share with us just the way to do that.
I would imagine most anyone in this room would be happy to add $500 or $1,000 or $1,500 maybe to their bank account in a painless sort of a way. It's really a simple thing to accomplish if we put our minds to it. Americans are the most marketed to society in all of time, in all of this world, to have it today, to have what you want, to have plenty of it, and to have it easily by simply reaching in your pocket and pulling out the plastic. We've been groomed carefully through our commercials and our magazine advertising. Perchance you've seen the commercial on TV with a store full of relatively young shoppers. Earbuds in place, holding their little iPod in their hand, that cord bouncing as the music plays, pulling merchandise off the shelves, walking into the cashier line, paying for their goods with their plastic. Suddenly the music screeches to a halt. The camera pans in on the hand of someone with the audacity to be using cash. Leaving room for party. It's what we're being programmed to do. Credit, of course, is not anything new. It's been around for hundreds of years. In 1730, a gentleman by the name of Christopher Thompson, he was a furniture maker, figured out that he could provide a convenience to his patrons, giving them time to pay for their goods. When that last payment comes through the door, the table and chairs go home to his customers. He obviously did well in building his business through providing a convenience. In the 1800s, the Talisman, British clothier, learned of the same technique. They had an interesting method of keeping track of payments. They had a stick with marks on it. Each time you came in and paid for your merchandise, they would notch it. Hence the term, typicality. The beauty of those early day creditors was that they were collecting payments, but they weren't making it hurt through the accrual of credit or interest. Today, or I should say later on, after World War II, life got really grand. The world settled down, there was peace, life was good. A lot of Americans determined that they wanted to travel. And the airline companies actually came up with an idea of extending them time payments to be able to encourage their travel activities. And in 1951, a familiar jingle filled the airwaves. Don't leave home without it. American Express came up with a little plastic card that we all began carrying with us. Bank of America was the second to follow. They came up with a card called the Master Charge. Oddly, the Master Charge had an odd connotation to it, and they played with it and finally got to the point where they called it the MasterCard. MasterCard appealed more, for one reason or another, to the public, and they began to use the card. And soon after that, Visa, which is now our #1 marketing entity for credit, took over. Today, Visa cards in circulation in this country are in the neighborhood of 159 million cards. MasterCard is in a close second at 129 million. And probably because you have to pay your balance off every month, American Express only has like around 80 million of them out there. It is overwhelming. Credit has just become our way of life. The average American carries $15,900 in credit card debt. We are married to and slaves of the banking world. And I'm going to charge around the corner here. Americans, my parents, I know, the era was the tail end of the savers. It's how purchases were made. We kept putting money into our bank account until there was enough there to purchase 3 pigs, some eggs, and a few niceties for our home. That trend has clearly come to an end. Our desire is now to use the instant gratification. I want to give you kind of an example of the big screen TV. Super Bowl's around the corner, and we want to see that game like we've never seen it before. We want to see the great catches, and we want to see the toe on the white line to know whether it was out of bounds or not. The big screen TV only costs $1,051. Our friends in the appliance store say, you can have that for nothing down today. Take it home with you on approved credit. 90 days, same as cash. And we think, yeah, Roger and Stanley are going to come over and they're going to love the game at my house this year. I'm going to take that thing home with me. And off you go. The thing that those retailers know is 80% of humanity, 80% of purchasers don't make the payments in the first 90 days, and they certainly don't pay the balance off on that 90th day. The beauty of it is it rolls into 24 easy payments of $54 a month. At the end of 54 months, you've paid in the neighborhood of $1,300 for your $1,000 and $1,051 TV. It's a beautiful thing. One of the elements that drives that price up, of course, is that first 90 days we don't take into account for the interest that's been accruing since day one. So when your 1,051 starts with the payments, I didn't do the math exactly, but it's not 1,051. It's a bit higher than that. Imagine turning the bag back from the inside-out way in which we have learned to use it. If you put that $55 a month or $54 a month into to your savings account every month for 24 months, you'd have your 1,051 plus that you could take to the store and probably shock the clerk into selling you that TV for less than 1,051. Cash money. Let's do some business today. It's a direction we need to think about going back to. We've lived large for many, many years, and now it's time to live responsibly. Put some of that money in your bank account, hang on to it.